Good day, ladies and gentlemen. Today we will be having a look inside the Pioneer LaserActive PAC-S1, which is pretty much a Mega Drive in a box. So we're going to pull this apart, and the long-term goal of this is to use a whole bunch of capacitors, which I think there are over 70 surface mounted capacitors. So that should be fun. But right now we're going to take this apart and just get some video of the innards. Well, the first thing we need to do is to remove the casing. So that's pretty simple. At the back you'll find some game bit screws. I left them a bit loose the last time I took it apart to dump the BIOS. And since we're taking this completely to pieces, I'll probably need to remove every screw I can see. I've got 3 on the back holding the top metal casing on. So I'll get rid of those, put them somewhere safe. Slides right back and off. Now we can have a peek at the innards. What a nice looking device. So as you can see here, we've got 2 PCBs. You might start to recognize some of these chips. There's the BIOS chip itself. There's the chip that makes all the LaserActive disk happen, from what I understand. So then we've got this daughter board here, which looks like it comes out with a couple of screws, and judging by the amount of pins over there, that's going to be held in with a socket. So let's pull that apart, get those out. The 2 plugs here, I believe, are actually the gain ports at the front. So there you go. So let's continue pulling it apart. Whoop, back into the stand. What an exciting day for science. Of course, if you're taking one of these apart at home, try and remember where the screws go. Thankfully though, I think the Phillips head screws are all the same on the internals. They're sort of a brassy sort of colour. And then with that done, you should just need to give this a little lift, and look at that. Clean and away. So now we have a full view of the internals. The main board. Let's just look at this daughter board first, which is a very nice looking board. So what have we got on this board? A lot of capacitors. Look at that. That's a lot of capacitors. I'm going to have to wiggle every one of those to remove them. It's going to be a long battle. Let's get a closer look at some of the chips we have on here though. Incredible. Just fantastic. And of course, if you're not viewing this in the highest video resolution possible, I'd suggest you do. So there we go. And there of course is the connector which connects onto the main board, which is the next part to remove. So let's give that a go. So just looking around, we've got more of the same. There are some slightly different screws, but they're easy enough to remove. I'm using a size 0 screwdriver here. Probably could use a size 1 if I wanted to, but this is just what I happen to have on hand. So you can actually remove the front, the plastic cover, so let's do that, just to give us an idea of what's underneath. So these appear to be, these are machine threaded. They're much finer than the other screws holding it together. And it looks like, yep, there they are. There's 2 more hiding under here. So I'm very happy we discovered those. In fact, we are very lucky. If they weren't discovered, I could have snapped the entire plastic front off, and that would have been a disaster. This is a piece of history. This is just amazing. So at the moment, the ports seem to be attached to the front, because when you try and move this, it pulls on the cables. So we'll go ahead and we will disconnect the cables. So white is to the right, well that rhymes, and orangey yellow is to the left. That doesn't rhyme at all. Oh, there we go, nice and removed, and there is a sort of a cable tidy holding that in, which is very thoughtful. And then that's away. So there is a little sub PCB in there, which just seems to have the controller ports and more plugs. So these cables are meant to be replaced if they need to be, and they've got interference, EM interference, ferrite blocks around them, so you don't get any crosstalk with player 2, I suppose. So there we go. There's the front. Looks a bit scary without the front on. Just looks like a Mega Drive port cartridge slot. So next step, we've got a couple of screws on this main board. Fantastic. So let's go ahead and remove the remaining screws, of which there are a few. So there's one here. And these are the same as the screws that we're holding in the daughter board, sub board, whatever you want to call it. Point is, it's not the main board. So there's that. Looking around, I've only really got 2 more Phillips heads by the looks, and these ones are slightly smaller. They seem to be sort of, pardon me, oh wow, they're quite long and machine threaded. Very fine, very fine. And they just seem to be securing the port at the back, just so it doesn't get damaged or fall off, which is probably a good thing. And now the final step to remove this is, as you'll see, that's quite loose now. Oh, I can take it out. You can slide it out the front. There's actually 2 ways you can do this. Slide it out the front, or these 2 remaining screws on the back here, this one and this one, you can remove them, and that will cause the back to fall off, and then well, it just comes apart. But it looks like it was meant to come out the front because it's got the rests here that the main board rests on. So we'll just pop that aside and just get a closer look at these boards side by side. Very nice looking boards, I might add. So let's just get the camera. And just get a closer look. Zooming out isn't going to give us a closer look, is it? So we've got a date time battery there. Oh dear Lord, what is going on outside? Anyway, there's that Pioneer chip again. One moment. Well, now that's dealt with. Let's get some close-ups of these chips. Aren't they fantastic? Give them a hand, ladies and gentlemen. $93.43, so late 1993 this unit was manufactured, probably. $93.37. Yeah. The old Z80. No. 68K. And there's the BIOS chip, which is a 27C1024. So that's the main parts of the main board. And if you're looking for high resolution photos, head over to my website, retrojunkie.net, and in the title bar you can head to the photo gallery, which links onto Google Picasa, which has many photos. So if you're doing a recap and you've got damaged traces, just head on there and you can see the original, just for your viewing pleasure. Oh yeah. Is that a 5476A? I'm not entirely sure what that is, but I'm sure it's important. These are quite well put together. Looks like they had some ideas. The back sides of the board are not terribly interesting. I did notice though on the main board, if we have a look over here, VMD and VMCD. Now if I had to have a guess, I would say there are two fuses there. F1154 and F153. I would say they're fuses for the Mega Drive part and the Mega CD part. It's just a guess. Maybe someone who has a no power situation would like to confirm. And there's a fair bit of lacquer on the back of these chips, so I couldn't get very clear photos of them. Sadly, and I've lost them. There they are. And that's the end of this video. So thank you for watching all the way through. Of course, be sure to subscribe and leave a comment. Of course, give it a like. If you like the video, I'll make more. Oh, while I'm wrapping up the video, I might just mention here that this battery looks to be a 2016. And I'm pretty sure the leg spacing was 20 centimeters. I've actually got a replacement battery here from right across the waters. This one is so we had a 2016, we're replacing it with a 2032, which is T25 was the form factor, and lithium coin rechargeable. Double check your work though, or triple check that's the right one. It could be for a different project, but I'm fairly certain that this was for this one. So thank you again for watching, and I'll see you in the comments, or the next video, whichever comes first. McRetro, out. I haven't had much luck programming using PK to AVR-ISP. So I'm going to go ahead and eliminate the launch beat as being the source of the problem. I suspect it's the software, but we'll find out, because at the same time it could be this hardware. Anyway, so we're going to use 5 volts from here again. We're going to program directly into the 80 mega 328p.